to be on the edge of control. I like the speed. I like the battles, defying the odds. I want to be champion.
Welcome to Three Sisters Circuit in Wigan for round 3 of the Ultimate Karting Championship. As we pass the halfway stage of the season, things are really starting to heat up, as now in all classes there are drivers who have one eye on the overall title. Three Sisters is one of the fastest circuits in UK karting, with plenty of flowing corners that lead onto a 220-metre straight. If you like your action fast and frantic with plenty of overtaking, then this is the place. And this is one of the key parts of the circuit, Luna Bend. After the short Rogerson straight, it's left-handed into Luna. The track then bends around to the right, where it's all about getting your line right and carrying your speed, because if you do, then you're going to set yourself up perfectly for the Conrod straight. A great opportunity for slipstreaming all the way up that straight and hopefully overtaking into turn 1. From turn 1, the karts exit stage left into this short incline that tests the grunt of any power plant, rising up onto the valley. A short run along the valley then sees the karts dropping down into Dunlop Bend, which is followed by a squirt around Paddock Straight into the right-hander at Paddock Bend. Then a tight left onto Rogerson's before heading back down to Luna. Well, one driver who in his day was the only ever to win back-to-back cadet titles before going on to race in much higher formulas, currently running in Formula E, where he's doing really rather well, is Oliver Rowland. He's here this weekend with his team, Oliver Rowland Motorsports, and I caught up with him earlier to see what he had to say. Ollie, great to see you here at Three Sisters this weekend. Is this a track you remember well and enjoyed from your days in karting?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, coming here since I was a young kid, it was only probably an hour from where I lived, so we spent a lot of time racing here. But yeah, fantastic track, fantastic memories. I think the cadet racing, especially here, is extremely exciting. You know, you've got the slipstream, the very tight racing, you know, you could never get away. It would always be a 5 to 10 car battle. But yeah, it's fantastic to be back with my guys and sharing some of that experience with them.
And just thinking about what you're going to be telling your guys this weekend, what is the key to doing well around this circuit? Where are you telling them that they can look for the overtakes and look to keep it steady and, you know, hopefully get themselves at the front of the pack?
Well, I think, you know, there's a few different ways of looking at it. I think in terms of general speed here, because of the sprocket, you have to carry as much speed as you can in order to keep the pace up. But then when it comes to the racing, you know, you have to pick your fights, you have to be clever with who you get away with and how you manage the race, because it can be difficult if there's 6 or 7 fighting for the lead, whereas if you make it 2 or 3, then I think that's the key, is to try and break away and make it a 2 or 3 man race.
And if I can get you to cast your mind back to when you were 9 years old, you won the Gold Cup here. How have you seen karting change in that time since then to now?
Yeah, you know, it was a long time ago. When I won the Gold Cup, it was a dad and lad thing. So, you know, karting's changed a lot. Some things for the better. I think, you know, the good things are obviously the level is always getting higher, and I think that comes from the teams driving the, you know, the level of data, the level of information the driver gets. You know, when I was younger, you just went and had a bit of fun, and then if you were good, you were good. Whereas now there's a lot more things with the data that we can help them, and the camera. So I think, you know, the drivers are growing in the level of their performance, and it shows now, you know, in Formula One, you know, with Albon, Leclerc, Norris, all these guys, you know, they were given great tools when they were younger.
And just thinking about some of the youngsters that are under your tent this weekend and under your tent this season, who are the drivers that are coming through? Who do we expect to see doing well this weekend?
Well, I think, you know, we've got 3 different classes, which is actually a new thing for us. We were used to predominantly doing cadets. But I think, you know, in the junior X30, you can see Harry Burgoyne has the speed. You know, just come up from cadets, doing a fantastic job. He's going to be right up there. And Fraser Anderson in Mini is just moved up to the class, so he's only very young. But he tends to be doing a good, solid job. And from him, we're looking for slow improvements. And then our two IAMI guys, you know, they're at the front, Ty and Duncan. So, you know, they should be ones to watch, and we're hoping that they can compete for the win.
And it must be as well for these youngsters that are under a tent like yours, just a great environment to be in when you've got the kids that are doing well and are going fast. The other kids are feeding off them, presumably, and seeing what it is that they're doing that's making it right for them.
Absolutely, I'm a firm believer that winning's infectious. You know, when it's around an environment, you know, whether it's me winning in Formula E and passing that motivation down to them, you know, the guys at the top, like, you know, Nathan, Connor here, you know, they're passing it on to the younger ones and they're feeding off it. They want to be at the same level as them. So it's very important to structure the team with different levels of people, and it's something that I'm, you know, extremely motivated to do well. I think over the last few years we've done a good job in that, of having the young ones to feed off the older ones, and it's working well. And yeah, I'll share as much as I can and give as much as I can because I'm very passionate about it.
Yeah, no, that's easy to see. And you mentioned Formula E there. You just had a fantastic, although busy end to your season. Second overall with Nissan, and you picked up your first win as well. Congratulations on that. Just tell us about that week, because that must have been a hectic weekend's racing for you.
Yeah, it was a lot. You know, we had a lot of simulator before we went there. I think we did 6 or 7 days leading up to the race, and then we did 6 races in 9 days, which I can tell you in Formula E is extremely taxing. We have free practice 1, 2, qualifying and a race all in one day, so we did that 6 times. So it was very, very tiring and very difficult mentally, but as a team we got stronger throughout. So I think, yeah, in general it was a good, obviously, to get my first win, and fantastic for the team, and hopefully now we can push on into season 7 and we can take a real championship assault.
And just, you know, that was a busy week and that was an exceptional week, but for you personally, how are you managing to fit in your commitment to Nissan and Formula E alongside your commitment here looking after the youngsters with ORM?
Well, that's the thing, you know, when I first started doing it, it was very difficult to manage. You know, when I first started ORM, I was there every weekend. You know, I was doing F2 at the time, and I was so tired because I was kart, track, dyno, back to doing Formula 2 and Formula 1 weekends. So I was very busy, but now I knew I couldn't continue like that because it would burn out. But I'm very lucky that I've got a great group of people, so the team can run without me, and that's very important. I've got, you know, I'm very lucky in that respect. And obviously, when I can turn up and add my bit, then I will. But to be honest, half the time they're doing a better job, and I try and turn up and motivate the drivers more than anything.
Is there a good vibe from the youngsters in the tent when you're around and they're looking up to you? Are they asking you about Formula E, asking you about F2 and other formulas?
Yeah, I think in the beginning they do, but after a while I like them to be relaxed. You know, I want them to see me as just a normal person, and I think they do it. You know, we find sometimes when people first join that they're not really sure how to act, but I think after time I have a good laugh with them. You know, I'm always playing around with them. They're a good crack, so we have fun, and you know, I'm just a normal guy living my dream, and I'm trying to share some passion with them, so we have a lot of fun.
I'm sure you do. And last question, the weather's a bit inclement this weekend. Are we looking at a dry final or a wet grid, do you think, come finals?
It's difficult. The weather for today was already meant to be raining, but it looks better, so let's see. I think we're very well prepared for both conditions. For us, you know, with our slightly more experienced guys, I think we'd look forward to a wet race, but rain or sunshine, we'll be going for the win.
Ollie, thanks so much for talking to us.
Thank you very much.
Well, join us after the break when we'll be bringing you the first final of the weekend. Kicking us off out on track then are the Honda Cadets, for drivers just 8 years of age and upwards, for whom ambition is more than just a team name.